If you've never heard of book breaking, it's not your fault. That's suppression, strategic, surgical. Because this is one of those truths that make history teachers go silent, that makes textbooks skip whole chapters. Because once you learn what book breaking really was, you can't unsee what slavery really looked like. Book breaking wasn't about labor, it was about complete domination. It was intimate violence used to humiliate, terrorize, and destroy. Book breaking was a targeted process used by enslavers, specifically against Black men who were seen as strong, intelligent, or rebellious. They were labeled as bucks, like animals. And what happened next was public, violent, and deliberately humiliating. The enslaver would strip the man of his clothes, his dignity, his status, right in front of his family, his children, his entire community. Then came the lesson. He would be assaulted, raped, sometimes by the enslaver himself. Sometimes they'd force others to participate. Sometimes the man would be beaten unconscious, and the essay would continue anyway. This wasn't punishment. This was psychological warfare. It was a warning in flesh, a message to every other enslaved person watching. If you think you're more than property, this is what happens. And no, it's never going to be in your textbooks, because America doesn't archive the horrors that it created. It whitewashes them. This wasn't rare. It wasn't a fluke. It was a tactic, part of a wider system of terror. Book breaking was used to make examples out of strong Black men, the protectors, the fighters, the thinkers, because their strength could inspire rebellion. Their pride could spread. And the plantation system just couldn't afford that. So they destroyed them publicly. They shattered not just the man, but the image of protection, power, and leadership in the eyes of his family. And that pain, that shame, it passed down generationally, quietly, violently. And if you think that this only lived in the past, you're not watching closely enough. Today it shows up in the criminal justice system, in media portrayals of Black men, in over-policing and school suspensions, in every space where Black masculinity gets distorted into something dangerous, then punished. They don't need a whip or a plantation anymore. They've got stereotypes, policies, and prisons. Book breaking never ended. It evolved. Book breaking isn't a myth. It's not exaggeration. It's a chapter this country ripped out of its own story, because even it couldn't stomach what it did. And we're not letting it stay buried, because we remember. And survival, that's the proof that they didn't break everything. And our truth, that's the crack in the foundation that they'll never repair.